I'll be back in another week of talking technical, and now I hope I can do some of the South African shares, because I know some viewers love the overseas shares and they watch the program for that. But then there's a lot of other investors that love the local shares and they also wait for some local opportunities. And what must I say about Sibanye? I mean, this was the top company. I mean, the platinum price treated them well. Everything treated them well. Even the silver did well. And then what happened? From 80 Rand all the way down, it sold off, and it's now at around 38 Rand. I mean, can you believe that? I mean, just shows you, and I've said it many a time, remember commodity shares, they're beautiful growth opportunities. When they turn around, suddenly things become very ugly, and then they can fall on a heap. Now, but let's have a look. This is a weekly chart. And there you are. I just want to draw in. And this makes me a little bit optimistic. I can see a beautiful falling wedge here. What is the rule of a falling wedge? Like all the other formations, you need to see the resistance line turn into a support before you get excited. And where is that level? That level is only above 40 Rand 27. Below 40.27, unfortunately, the share can actually drift lower. Sometimes what you see, because you get investors that say, but out of a falling wedge, I must have a bounce. What can happen, you can sometimes see that this share starts to consolidate for days or for weeks. And remember, this is a weekly chart. It can maybe goes a little bit lower. I think this falling wedge, if it breaks above that 40 Rand 27, it can maybe give us a big bounce all the way up to that little resistance. That was my target, 50.10, because then it will be finished, the target of the formation. But my stop loss will be 36.08. So 40 Rand in I go, and 36.28 is my stop loss. 36.08 is my stop loss to protect some capital. And my targets to the top will be 44.58, 47 on the dot, 50.14, and I think maybe all the way back to 51.93. But on the other hand, remember, Sibanye had a beautiful rally. Just look at this. I just want to show the viewers here. I mean, if you look at the share, it came all the way from 9 Rand 40. It went up as high as 80 Rand. So yes, you've maybe lost out on a nice rally. But I think we may be due for a little bit of a relief bounce here. And maybe the commodities were just too hard. And I can tell you now, the moment the Rand strengthens and the Rand gets below that 1680 level, you will see these commodity prices goes up again, and maybe some of the commodity shares can also surprise us a little bit. Somebody asked me about Tiger Brands. I mentioned on Twitter, I said, is this share maybe turning around, and it's slowly but surely ticking higher? And the reason why I said that, is because that this share actually was just hammered all the way from 227. It went right down to 140 Rand. But what made me excited, and that was quite a few weeks ago. In actual fact, I think I also called the share on this show. But our viewers close to about 142 Rand, our readers around 142. We showed them this beautiful triple bottom. I think we used the line chart then. Look at this triple bottom here. And I just want to show you here there. Every time that the share got close to this level of 134.80, there were some buyers. And that's where you see these lower shadows from. And I always like informed capital to tell me what they think. Sometimes with trading, it's a little bit different, because then you need to be a little bit contrarian. If you're a long-term buyer of a share, you need a weekly chart that slowly but surely tell you that something is on the go. And what happened? Since then, the share moved from, let's call it 135 Rand odd, and it's now trading at 158.41, already 20 Rand up. But what I like about the share is, look at this. And this makes me excited. I can actually get a little bit further. There you are. Let's take it from there all the way down there. We can use that little line there. And then you will see what we see here. I'm seeing a beautiful descending channel. Now, a descending channel, we know eventually it turns into a positive formation. And this is exactly what happened. And for me on a weekly chart, even above 156.32, I think it will be maybe a little bit overbought now. But above 156.32, this share can maybe trigger this beautiful descending channel into a positive formation. And where's my target? Let's just put the target in here. And there you are. I just want to draw that line there so that you can see where it can go to. Oh yes, you can see that overrang resistance there. Share can easily go back to 195.80. I mean, what a beautiful rally. Unfortunately, I think if you did not buy it around these levels, yes, you can still chase the momentum, but let's give you a stop loss there. The stop loss will be 146.18 just to play safe. I like this chart, but I think on the long term, let's just go to a daily, a line chart here. I just want to check something out here. Just want to take this out there. Oh yes, there's the beautiful double bottom there. There's some higher lows here. I just want to take it all the way back. Let's just see. Wow, 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 wow. There's maybe an early sort of a turnaround here. Oh yes, there's also maybe a bottom and there's a double bottom. Well, I am positive about the share. I think maybe it's time to maybe look at this on any pullback, because this old giant can maybe just surprise us and move all the way up back to that 200 Rand level. And of course, we've seen now that Ashton factory of theirs, they've decided not to sell it because they didn't find a proper buyer. That tells me something. That tells me that they're busy changing the company, fixing things that they want to fix, and that will be seen as positive to fundamental analysts as well. The technical chart looks very, very interesting. Let us look at MTN. It looks like MTN and Telkom is in chats. Maybe MTN wants to buy Telkom. There's a lot of rumors there. This is now the typical share where everybody said nothing can go wrong. I mean, look at this beautiful uptrend. I mean, it went all the way from 60, 55 Rand odd. It went all the way up to 200 Rand. And that's the problem with investors. You sometimes get complacent and you believe that the share will never go down. You never know what the company is maybe planning. And what happened here? Suddenly the company decided to go into talks, and maybe some investors didn't like it. But there was the warning signal. The warning signal was at 178.55. And there it triggered a selling opportunity because the uptrend was broken. And what since then? We saw all the way lower highs. Maybe these guys here knew that there's a deal maybe on the way and they don't like it, and that's why they want to sell out. For me personally, maybe something can turn good out of the deal. Where will I look at buying the shares? Simple. It must take this, excuse me. It must take that. Oopsie daisy, let's just get that. Okay, here we're back. It must turn this. There you are. Let's go there. It must turn this little resistance. There you are. And there's the resistance, 145.50. It must turn that into a support. Otherwise, just leave it alone. Because if it goes below this level of 136.16, it can just continue this downtrend and you won't touch it. So yes, if you want to buy it, use that stop loss of 136.16 and then maybe it can give you a bounce. Personally, I don't like shares that's in deals that's maybe going to take over this one or that one or whatever the case, especially when it's on a topish price already from 50 Rand to 200 Rand. I always make nervous. If it's on a downtrend and the share is bombed out and suddenly they start to fix up the company and change maybe directors or get different guys in, that's a different story. But at the top, I'm always very nervous because sometimes you can find that a company right at the top sits with so much cash and they just want to buy anything and then they buy the wrong thing, and that almost you can say kill the price of the share. Let us look at Sunlam. I know somebody asked about that a while back and I did show it, and I did show a beautiful V formation then. But there's something on the weekly chart that makes me very excited about Sanlam. Remember, Sanlam is also a big investment house sitting on loads of cash. But look at this. The previous low at this level of 52 Rand, let's call it 52.20, was in November 2021. And just the other week, in June, end of June, it was back at that level. For me personally, that can be a huge double bottom. But, I mean, that double bottom, can you believe it will only come into play here? It will only come into play above 72.23, so we cannot wait for that. For me, the first sign of strength, and remember this is a weekly chart, first sign of proper strength on this chart will be above 55.49. Above 55.49 on a weekly chart, this chart will actually look very, very interesting. I don't say that it's going to go all the way up and then from there well above 100 rand. That I will never say because you never know. But that first initial move on this tiny double bottom or massive double bottom tell you that there's maybe something on the go. So what is the simple rule here? The simple rule here is wait for this to change into a support. Use this as your stop loss, make it 52 Rand 24. Let's make it 52.20 on a weekly close. And then you buy it and you nibble it. And maybe you can add on to it as it goes higher. What I like about companies like with Sanlam, they are, yes, proxies of the market. They usually do well when the market does well. What they also have, they've got a lot of money that they invest on behalf of clients. They do get a tiny service fee, either admin fee or a service fee or a performance fee. I don't even know if some of them ask for performance fees. I don't know. They always get something for that investment, and that is where their money is also lying. So although they've got a massive book and they do well if the shares do well, they also make money on fees, and that usually helps their profitability. Well, thank you for watching the show. Thank you for visiting our website, www.fransdeklerk.com. And of course, we hope that we are blessed to see you again and that we can carry on giving this beautiful show to you. All the best.